I love this topic, and I love this space. How does she get to do this here? We always come here every year. It's like, who do you have to know? Like, she's the only person I know who ever gets to use this space. It's amazing. So yes, this is 18 years of website planning, search optimization, and analytics, and about 10 years of working within content marketing, blogging, social media, email marketing, content strategy. So in that time, I've done lots and lots of keyword research and publishing and measurement and ongoing iteration, optimization, improvement. And so today, I've done these topics before, maybe with some of you. Some of this might be a refresher. Some of this might be brand new and crazy ideas. But these are some of my favorite, some of the most practical, applicable things that I know to actually make a difference and drive search, drive a durable source of traffic, attract a ton of visitors who are all, in my mind, when I think about it, I think of it this way. They're looking for you right now. I'm not exaggerating, at this moment. There are people whose hands are descending toward their keyboards and they are typing in a query into google.com and they're looking for you. What are they doing here? Oh, I skipped that. That was not subliminal. I had a baby 2 weeks ago. I know. Thank you. This is baby Ada. Ada, she's named after the world's first programmer, Ada Lovelace, maybe you know. Not the first female programmer, let's be clear. The first programmer on planet Earth was a woman named Ada. I woke up between these two. That's Eli. He's my 2-year-old. This is why I'm tired. I turned 46 yesterday, and I've got a 2-week-old. I know. Anyone with kids, like their back spasms as soon as they hear that, like, oh my God, that must hurt. Picking up 30-pounders from like weird angles, I didn't think that would be the problem. Anyway, so right now, as we speak, while we're sitting here, there are people who are trying to find the information that's in your head. You are all experts on many different topics, and people are looking for that information right now. You guys are all offering various services. You've got products for sale, all the things that you do, all the commercial activity, all of the information and queries, all of these things. There's someone searching for them. There's someone ranking for them. There's someone winning that visitor. Why not you? So in my mind, it's very competitive. It's a kind of a blood sport. It's fun. You get to work, you fight hard and win, and you never really meet your competitors anyway, so it's still kind of friendly. But someone is typing something into this box. Who are they finding? Why not you? Okay? So this is going to start with a really, really high-level review of the basics of SEO, and then we're going to go deeper into some of my favorite tactics that sound fancier. They're really pretty straightforward. I like to keep it very simple. There are 2 reasons why web pages rank. They meet 2 criteria. One of those criteria is off-site. One of those criteria is on the page itself. Off-site as in what's happening on other websites. It's a big factor. It's why Google is so relevant and why it's so good is they don't just pay attention to the page itself. Again, 18 years of SEO. I did SEO back in the day when search engines were really weird and things, so I'm Gen X. Some of you will remember these companies, some of you will have no idea. Hotbot, Lycos, Excite, AltaVista. Does that mean anything to anyone here? That's how we did it before Google, right? And then Google came along and crushed them all in one. Now they have like 90% market share. How'd they do it? They paid attention to what happens on other websites, right? It turns out whether or not a website is credible is based upon what other sites are doing. Just as whether or not you as a person are credible is based upon whether or not other people believe you, right? It's about links. A website that has links to it has higher ranking potential, but has to be still about something, right? And keywords. Off-site links, on-page keywords, authority and relevance. That's SEO. I'm just going to keep it that simple. That's SEO in a nutshell. Okay? If a web page does not rank, it has one of 2 problems. It either isn't a credible enough page for that topic, it lacks authority, or it isn't talking about the topic enough, that's relevance. Okay? So a quick review. Hope writes an article. Hope it's a blog post. It targets a key phrase. It's whatever the topic happens to be. She links to some research on some other website. Then she writes another blog post for someone else, which we often do, right? Guest blogging. That also talks about a key phrase. That links to the research. That also links back to her site. The red things are links. The red words are keywords. Pop quiz. Which of these links and keywords affects Hope's rankings? Remember, this is her site. Which of these affects Hope's rankings?
All of them.
Does the link away from her site affect her rankings?
No.
Nope. Does the key phrase on another website affect her rankings? Does other sites linking between each other affect her rankings? Nope. that link to her site matters. That key phrase on her site matters. Right? Authority, relevance. That's SEO, okay? So now I'm going to do authority this is the fastest, most turbo condensed version of how to understand authority. I'm going to do it in 2 slides. This is insane to try to teach authority in 2 slides, but I think it's enough. Here we go. Google doesn't any longer share its own metric for how credible a web page or website is. They used to. It was called PageRank. One word, capital P, capital R, named after Larry Page, the guy who invented this whole concept. They used to, it was in the Google toolbar, and we all saw it. And like in 2013, they stopped showing that, and so we all wonder, like, what's your page rank? Is this page credible or not? So other companies popped up and offered proxy metrics. They started to estimate their own versions, and the one we often use, the one I use a lot, is called Moz. Put your website into Moz, and it shows the domain authority of that URL, of that domain. This site is authoritative and has some credibility because there is a certain number of websites and web pages that link to it. And each web page that links to it has a certain amount of credibility itself. That's the bottom part of this report. Now my super low-res shortcut for knowing, can we target really competitive phrases? Can we target much less competitive phrases? It's determined by this number. So here is my all-in-one, 1-slide cheat sheet for how competitive you can go. If your authority is very low, you need to target phrases that just aren't that competitive, right? There aren't that many people searching for them. I would say if you have a young, brand new baby website, like my daughter Ada, if you have a young baby website, target longer phrases, the 5-word phrase. Less than 50? Yeah, maybe target some 4-word phrases. If you've got a site that's maybe more credible, right, in the range of like 60s, maybe 70, you can go ahead and target more competitive, more popular phrases. Those are often the shorter phrases. Okay, there we go. Domain authority, competitive analysis, SEO in a nutshell. That's the key factor, right? That's one of the main criteria. Make sense? Sound good? It's actually simpler than it seemed, right? The second half of SEO is relevance. Using the phrase, indicating relevance, talking about the topic, right? Every key phrase is a different competition, and every page is a different competitor. This may not be obvious, but Google does not rank websites. Google has never ranked a website. Google only ranks web pages. Every page has a chance of ranking. Every page has a chance of catching traffic like a sail catches wind, right? You can make a site with tons of pages that are optimized for tons of phrases, right? Every phrase is a different competitive set. Every page is a different competitor that can fight that battle. So the big question then becomes choosing key phrases. We do so by 2 criteria. Are people searching for it, yes or no? Do we have a chance of ranking for it, yes or no? If yes and yes, go for it. So here's the options. Ideally, the ideal key phrase is something that, yes, some people are searching for it. Yes, we have a chance of ranking for it. And of course, it's relevant to our business. That should go without saying. There's lots of tools that will help you understand how many people, how much demand, how much so-called search volume there is for a key phrase. This is a classic. It's Google Keyword Planner. I'm pretending for a minute here that I'm selling robot parts. I'm a robot parts company. And are people searching for robot parts, or what robot parts do people want? I put it into Google Keyword Planner. This is a free tool. You need to create an account to use it. I think you might even have to put in your credit card number. You do not have to set up a campaign or start using AdWords to use this tool for research. Robot parts, in the United States and Google, you could set up some basic things, right? And then it shows me, yep, between 1,000 and 10,000 people a month are searching for robot parts. What kind of robot parts? Now it suggests 800 key phrases. Build a robot, robot parts for kids, robot parts for adults. Each of these is a different competition, and I could target I could fight in that battle with a different competitor. I could make a page all about robot kits for kids. I could make a page all about robot kits for adults. You get the idea, right? But there are people searching for them. That's mainly what I'm doing here. I'm validating that there is some demand. I'm checking search volume. Yes, someone wants this. There's even easier ways to do this, and even easier ways to find clues for what people are looking for online. Even easier ways to learn what people want from the internet. Just go to Google and type in robot, type in your key phrase plus the letter A, and it will suggest a whole bunch of phrases as if you're going to search for those, right? Thank you, Google. It made that so that it's easier for me to find stuff. But nope, I'm a content marketer. I'm going to use that as ideas for writing, right? These are things I could write about tomorrow and rank for next week. Robot parts and their functions, actuators and electronics, accessories. Someone's searching for those, someone's ranking for those, someone's winning that visitor, someone's winning the chance to convert that visitor into a customer. Why not me, right? You feel it now, right? Let's go get it. I don't want to lose that. How come I can't? I want that visitor. How come I know all about robot actuators. I know nothing about that. Now it's long and slow and boring to type the next letter of the alphabet 26 times in a row. So I'm going to use a tool now to scrape all of those things out of Google, give them to me all at once. That tool is free. It's called keywordtool.io. Who uses this? As a nod. Keywordtool.io. Oh, you're my people. There's like 4 of us. Stick around for the advanced class afterward. We do cocktails and a deeper dive. I made that up, but can we? Is that okay? In the cafeteria. Gin in the... do they have cocktails? There's seriously tequila in the cafeteria? Did you know that? Just keeps getting better. Keywordtool.io scrapes out of Google every phrase that it would suggest as if you typed in the next letter of the alphabet 26 times. There are 329 different key phrases that Google would suggest if you begin typing robot parts. You can also check YouTube and Amazon and something called Bing. I haven't heard of that one. Something else. And here they all are. For sale, Australia, actuators, and their functions. You get the idea. These are all things that we could target, write about, rank for, win the visitor, win the chance to convert. Those clues are everywhere. Enough. Clues are everywhere. So I'm going through 5 things. Step 1, the first thing is to just indicate relevance in the normal way. Indicate relevance in the normal way. Use the phrase on the page, right? Choosing and using keywords. So I get a lot of weird questions about, hey, Andy, would it be useful if I stuck the key phrase in a caption or made it this white text on a white background or hid it behind that image? People have bizarre superstitions about all the places that they could stick a keyword. Would this be a better building if I wrote the name on the sticker and put it under here? It's like, that's what it sounds like to me. That has nothing to do with SEO, right? SEO is about just indicating that we are really a good page on the topic. How about putting it in the title, in the header, in the body text, in the meta description? The more visible the place is, the more strongly it indicates the relevance of the page. It should be on the page. So here we go. The less visible it is, alt text and file names. What if I make the picture on the robots parts page say robots_parts_actuators.jpg? Would that be good for my SEO? It's not going to hurt. Imagine you're a math PhD with $1 billion starting your own search engine. What should we make the search? What's our search ranking factors? What should they be? Well, maybe if the image name has the file name for that, no, you would never make that. That doesn't pass the laugh test. It has to be on the page. It should be what the page is about. Read the page. So yeah, these things I really don't care about. Google themselves tells you that these are not really major search ranking factors. However, the title, very important. Use the key phrase once at the beginning of the title tag. Where does the title tag appear? It's a weird one, actually, right? It's not on the page itself. The title's in the code. This page is called How to Research Keywords. It's in the title, right? Title/title. The title appears in the tab. You might have to hover over it to see it. In Chrome, it's the tab, right? And the title also becomes the link when you rank, so it affects click-through rate. So yeah, use the target key phrase once in the title, ideally at the beginning. What is the worst possible title tag for a website's homepage? Have you heard me rant about this? What is the worst? Yeah, what was it? Home. A unicorn cries every time someone makes their homepage title tag home. It's ridiculous. It indicates nothing. It's the single most important piece of SEO real estate on any website, and to be vague right there, yeah, my other joke about this is oh, I wrote a book and I put it in the library and no one checks it out. I'm such an unpopular author. Yeah, what do you call your book? Book. No one's going to find your book. It's a card catalog. Google was invented by library scientists. Help them. Right? It's a service. We're helping people find ourselves, right? So we have to indicate relevance. Definitely. If your website has home as its homepage title tag, just fix it and take the day off. You had a great day in marketing. That's all you had to do today. All done. Pop the not champagne. We're drinking tequila. The header. The H1, the header. It's at the top of the page. This is the header. It's also known as the H1 tag, right? Depending on your implementation, if it's WordPress, sometimes it forces you to use the header and the title in the same way. I hate those websites. You should be able to carefully handcraft different things for different places, right? But yeah, this is a header. I recommend using the target key phrase once at the beginning of the header if possible. You're going to know now how I just look at everything I write, and you'll see me use this trick all the time. Here's my headline hack. I use a keyword first, right? My target phrase is first. Search for web content checklist and see if I rank. Colon, and then a number. Keyword colon number. The keyword is for search and robots. The number is for humans and click-through rate and social media. I'm balancing, right? I need to get the ranking isn't sufficient. You have to get the click, right? So yeah, that's my, feel free to steal it. The keyword plus the colon plus the number plus the headline with benefit. It's almost like having the two headlines. The Guardian did a study and found that the double headline has a 20% higher click-through rate. You add the second headline by using things like parentheses or dashes. Quite clever. The body text, obviously, and I hate having to give a number but everyone asks. Yeah, you have to use the key phrase in the body. If the page is about robot parts for kids, it should say robot parts for kids in the body text. At least a couple of times, right? But I actually don't count them normally. But somewhere on this page, it should have it, right? It should be in the text, the body text of the article. Meta description is also a thing too. I'm not sure that it's a major search ranking factor, but and it's part of the code. You don't see it on the page. But the meta description is what appears in the snippet. Maybe you knew this. That's called a snippet. When something ranks in Google, that's what that's called. A classic snippet is the title tag, the URL, and the meta description. This is a screenshot of Yoast, which is a very popular tool that allows you to manage your title tag and meta description. Yoast is fun because it gives you a preview of these things as you type them in. The thing I don't like about Yoast is that as this bar goes from red to yellow to green, people who got a green bar here think that they're doing SEO. That's totally insufficient to do good SEO. You might be targeting a phrase for which you have a 0% chance of ranking. SEO is more about making, there's more to it than making the Yoast plugin happy. It's a super popular plugin for WordPress for managing metadata. So you're done. The page goes live. Now the optimization gets a lot easier. Go to the page and just use my favorite SEO tool, which is Control F on your keyboard. Awesome. I don't know who invented that. It's an amazing SEO tool. It's totally free. You don't have to install it. It's there for you already. And go look at the page. People say that all the time, like, oh, this page doesn't rank. We worked so hard and it doesn't rank. Well, why doesn't it rank? I don't know. I don't know what else to do with it. I did my best. Let's take a look. When you hit Control F, there's the key phrase. It's going to be up there, right? You should see it wherever it appears. It'll be highlighted. There's the header. There's the body text. But sometimes also it picks up. It doesn't show the title because that's not on the page. It doesn't show the meta description. That's not on the page. But it shows these links, which links, by the way, do not indicate relevance for this page. These links indicate relevance for the page they link to, right? That's like a signpost. So this isn't really SEO for this page. These don't indicate relevance here. Those are signs pointed some other way. Anchor text does not indicate that relevance to that page. Here's a sad but true story. Anyone work at US Cellular? I'm safe. Can we just keep this in this room? No one cares. They probably redesigned anyway. So they asked me to help them with their website, or we're just having a conversation. And this is their page. It's the certified pre-owned page. Major company, right? Why don't they rank for the phrase, used phones? This page should rank for used phones. Oh, really? Control F. 0 out of 0 times you used the key phrase. It'd be really weird if this page ranked for that phrase. You didn't even talk about the topic, right? So we're digging deeper. Now we're on their homepage. What is this? This page should rank for the phrase cell phone, right? Nope. The word cell phone does not appear on this page. US Cellular's homepage does not use the phrase cell phone. What about the word phone? Well, at least that's there 4 times. Let's count them. Phones and more. Is that header text, body text, or title? No, no, and no. That's a link. That doesn't count. Keep body text frequency of 0. How about this? Smartphones, that's also a link. Phones and more, that's also a link. And then we get down to the footer, the word phones. This page has a key phrase frequency in the body text for the word phones of 0 and never uses the word cell. This page, in fact, doesn't actually have any body text on it at all. If I were to working with this company, I would set their expectations extremely low for getting any traffic from search, because why would Google believe this page to be relevant for anything? This page isn't talking about anything. Make sense? It was totally driven by brand and design. It had nothing to do with how search engines see websites and how people get to things. So internal links, actually there is a value though in those links from pages. We do want to have links to the page that have the target key phrase. And I use this little trick all the time. Let's say I write an article about content strategy, which I've done before, and it's going to be on my site. I'm going to use this search operator, site colon, to find out all the pages on this URL that use the phrase content strategy. There's 71 pages on this URL that use the phrase content strategy. Every one of those is an internal linking opportunity to link to my new article with the phrase content strategy in the text of the link. That indicates relevance, right? Links to the page that include the target key phrase in the text of the link are telling Google that that page must be about that topic. Why would there be links to this page that say content strategy if the page wasn't about content strategy? How did I find those? In 2 seconds using the site colon search operator, right? It's just a way to search that domain. Another way to think of this is you're not done publishing a new article until you have linked to it from an old article. So like probably maybe 5% of content marketers understand this. Everyone knows, oh, I wrote an article, so I got a link to, my article links to some things. Great, but what links to your article? You're not done publishing something new until you have linked to it from something old. And that link is an opportunity to indicate relevance by using key phrase in the text of the link. Make sense? This is how are we doing pace-wise?
It is 4:30 and you have till 5.
Cool. Should we speed up or slow down? You okay? Okay. We're on number 2 of 5, and then we've got a little bonus round at the end. Now, it's kind of old school actually to just use the target key phrase, talk about the topic, title, header, body. That's nice, but really that's not the future of search. There's a lot more to it than that. Back in the day, this is what SEO looked like, just called it keyword stuffing. Put the phrase in the page, blah, 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 like I'm talking about the page. But what's happened in Google is a big shift where they are now doing a much better job, kind of like the chatbots conversation, doing a much better job of gleaning insight, of gleaning the intent of the visitor and helping them find what they want based on what they need. So this is a quote from Amit Singhal, who at the time was the head of the web search team, the search team at Google. And this changed a lot of thinking for a lot of us when he said this. We've been working on a more intelligent model that understands real-world entities and their relationships to one another. Now it's about things, not strings. Now it's about concepts, topics, not just combinations of words and letters, not just about key phrases. So now when I'm getting ready to write an article, I'm going to write an article about website footers, blah, blah, blah. Just an idea I had. I'm going to look for all of the semantically connected phrases, so I'm going to work those into my piece. Okay? I'm not just going to put website footer design, website footer design. I'm going to look for the related phrases so that I can build those into the article, maybe make it a stronger article, more complete article, spread my meaning out across the broader topic, not just repeat the key phrase. How do I find all the related topics to website footer design? There they are, always at the bottom, all rights reserved. I'm going to start this little path, right? It's about a 10-minute exercise of finding all the related phrases and incorporating them into my piece. So I search for the phrase, add a letter, and I'm going to put these on a list. You'll see, in a minute and a half here, you'll see exactly how I do this. Better yet, keywordtool.io recommends 189 different phrases. Template, HTML, text, generator, definition, copyright. Put these on a list. I'm finding more semantically connected phrases. Lots of them. Scroll to the bottom of the page. These are semantically related or else they wouldn't be here. Best, innovative, inspiration, creative, examples, ideas. Put these on a list. I can also go to this is a slightly more advanced approach. I go to the highest ranking page for that phrase, put it into SEMrush. It shows me every phrase that site ranks for, filtered by footer. Examples, designs, navigation, ideas, menu. I can put these on the list. Now I have a giant list of phrases that I know from Google, I know without question, are semantically connected to my topic of website footer design. So now I go begin to write my article. My article was going to be like 15 things to add to your website footer. wow, it's going to be a way better article than I thought. Now I've got a lot more ideas. I'm going to build this out. It's like a major piece of content. So as I write, and this is pretty low tech, you can do it on paper. As I write, I cross off the things as I use them. Not a lot of science here, right? It's SEO after all. It's kind of inexact. So yeah, that sounds good. Let's make sure to weave these in somehow. The final piece goes live. It's 27 things to put in the footer. I just showed you how SEO can make you a better writer. You can use this research to make sure you cover that topic completely. I don't know anything about chatbots until now. Now I know a bit about chatbots. Yeah, but within a few hours, right, I could do enough research to be able to make a piece that's actually pretty thorough. In fact, it might be almost exhaustive on the topic of whatever people are talking about, writing about, sharing, have related topics, who else is ranking, what else are they ranking for, you can imagine. And there's my headline hack again, website footer design, that's my primary key phrase. Footer design best practices, that's my secondary key phrase. Numbers increase the click-through rate and increase sharing because numerals stand out against letters in a line of text. You guys all know the headline tricks, I'm sure. And voila, the article ranks #1 today for website footer design best practices. There is no way that it would have done that had I just worked in the phrase, header, title, body, right? I had to spread my meaning across that. It ranks #3 or something for website footer design. This is me tracking the key phrases in Moz, and as the rank increases over time, that's what it looks like when your rank increases over time. Even though Google Keyword Planner said that only 100 to 1,000 people a month were searching for website footer design, and that it said nobody or fewer than 10 people per month, that little dash, fewer than 10 people per month were searching for website footer design best practices, looks like that's not even worth targeting, right? Looks like it's super low. But these numbers are vastly underestimated because these are the exact match key phrase. I'm not just targeting the phrase, I'm targeting the broader topic. My goal is to make the best page on the internet for the topic. That's how you know you're doing search, when you make the best page on the internet for your topic. This is what it looks like for one specific URL. The email is sent, a bunch of people read it. This blows my mind. Why anyone was interested in the web design footer article that day? I thought that newsletter would totally fail. People opened it. There were more people interested in website footers than I thought. Doesn't really rank very well. Starts to rank for more key phrases. Starts to rank higher. Starts to rank for more key phrases. Hundreds of people read this article every single day, right? If you go to the Search Console reports in analytics, this URL ranks for 2,570 different key phrases. That's called semantic SEO. We're not really just targeting the key phrase anymore. Look for the semantically related phrases and words, work those into your topic, target that broader topic, making it a super high quality piece, and you may find that the results are like 100x what you ever thought they might be. If I was online, I could show you there's probably 2 or 3 people reading the article right now. That wouldn't be weird. And best of all, really, my ulterior motive with all these things that I'm publishing is I'm trying to build my own domain authority so that I can rank for the money phrase, Chicago web design. And to do that, I have to have a very high authority. And to have high authority, I have to have lots of links to my site. To have links to my site, I have to have pages that are worth linking to. That article there has 40 different websites have linked to that article over time. Yay! Yes?
How did you get those people to link to you?
Well, I've got slides for that at the end. You ask, how do you get people to link to you? I think the greatest question in marketing, right? People link to things for 2 reasons. 1, they're aware of it. And 2, it supports something that they're writing about and it's high quality, right? Like it's good. So one of the benefits of writing something that ranks in general is that it makes people aware of it, right? There's other more specific ways, but I'll jump to some ideas for that in the end. So yeah, indicate relevance in the basic way, but also find and use the words and phrases that are semantically related to your topic and build those in, right? Build those in. So you've got relevance, you've got authority, you've got, you're paying attention to semantic SEO, and now you've got visitors on your page. But this is the other thing that Google's done recently, which is whether or not you keep ranking for a phrase has a lot to do with what people do after they get there. It looks like this. What about the click-through rate? Are people even going to it? You rank, but are people going to it? The bounce rate, after they land there, are they leaving from there right away? Are they spending much time on the page? This is evidence that Google pays attention to these so-called user interaction signals. This is a slide from a presentation from Paul Haar. He's a Google engineer presenting at SMX. I always kind of could tell, looking at my own analytics, just the behavior metrics like time on page, that is the high-ranking stuff that gets a lot more time on page. The concept is this. Visitor searches, this is really, really important in digital. The visitor searches, they see a search results page. They call this a SERP, a search engine results page. The visitor's looking at the SERP. They see an article, looks good, they click. They land on a web page. They spend 3 seconds on that web page. Nah, that doesn't look like any fun. I don't see my answer. They hit the back button. That's a bounce. A bounce is a one-page visit. They scroll down, they look at something else, they click on the next one. They click, well, this looks like a much better page. They spend 5 minutes on this page. Then they hit the back button. That's also a bounce. But the first bounce was the short click. The second bounce was the long click. And that difference means everything to Google. Basically, Google can tell. They know how long that person spent there. This is not a mystery to Google, right? They own the number one search engine, the number one operating system, the number one browser, the number one analytics platform. They have all the data, no doubt. So whether it's like a pogo stick visit, they call it, right? Or whether it has long dwell time, they call it, right? Time on page, the bounce isn't what matters. It's the dwell time. So what we're trying to do is to get the visitor to stay. This is search, and this is where a lot of your normal marketing skills will come into play. Formatting, headers, subheads, bullet lists, numbered lists, bolding, italics, internal link, multiple images. Keep that person on the page. Keep them happier. Don't hit them with a wall of text, right? This is not college. You're not assigning this homework. The back button is the one feature common to every website, and they can leave and go to anywhere else they want to go. We all have to live in fear that our visitors will leave us, and especially if they came from search, that's not going to help us in the future. So we pay very close attention. That's why I will take your most popular article, put a video at the top, upload a custom thumbnail into the video player with a screenshot of yourself. Even if you look drunk and tired, that's fine. Steam's still working. And by the way, this doesn't even have to be your own video, but you can imagine how this would increase dwell time. You can imagine how this would reduce the chance of the short click. It's cynical to say it, it's partly true. Video's for humans, text is for robots. Keep the visitor engaged, keep them on the page. It's going to have a big impact on whether that page ranks high the next time. This is the disaster. Never, I'm putting my foot down, guys. Never write a paragraph longer than 3 lines on the internet. Just don't do that. It's not how people want to use the internet. 4 lines max. You are insensitive to how people are using browsers. You're ignoring your own behavior if you're writing long paragraphs on the internet. Unless you purposely don't want them to read them. Probably terms and conditions would be the exception, right? Go ahead, because you don't want them to read that anyway. We all know that visitors are scanners, right? The Nielsen Norman Group found that visitors are spending reading maybe 28% of the words on a page. Not a surprise. They're scanners. The trick is to slow down the scanners. Jason Fried said this. Short paragraphs get read, long paragraphs get skimmed, very long paragraphs get skipped. Right? So this is a video. Maybe there's a play button here. Doesn't matter. So we did research. We've been asking bloggers how they do their jobs every year for 3 years. We ask 1,000 for 4 years. We ask bloggers a question, and 57.6% of bloggers are now using more than 1 image per blog post. That's the same idea, right? It has to be interesting at every scroll depth. Make sure there is no scroll depth at which it's all text. It's not just the top of the page. Scroll down your page and ask yourself if you can get to a scroll depth at which it's all boring. You've got a problem. You're going to lose them. Fix it. Add more images, multiple images. Slow down the scan readers. The next tip, length, of course. There's tons of correlations that say this. There's tons of studies that show longer pages rank higher. I don't love that advice either because people take a crappy 500-word article and they fluff it up to 1,000 words and think they did good SEO. Not the job. Take a great 1,500-word article and trim it down to 1,200 words and you've got now you're doing better SEO, right? I would say, yes, length does correlate with quality, but it's quality that correlates with rankings. So our job isn't to make it long, it's to make it complete, thorough, exhaustive, to cover the topic from every angle. But sure, every single study you'll find on this shows longer articles get shared more, longer articles attract more links, Longer articles attract more links and shares. Longer articles correlate with high rankings. Longer articles generate more leads. There's just lots and lots of studies that show that depth, right? And it doesn't matter that people don't read it all. If someone wants to bail out partway down, cool, right? They got the value they wanted to get. There's no need to stop to put a dead end there, right? Just give them everything, and they'll take whatever they want. They'll scan down, use lots of subheaders, and they'll scan through it till they find the information they want. This is another one. SEMrush found the same thing. SEMrush found the same thing. Tons of that. So the idea is to cover the subject in a complete and thorough way, to answer all the related questions. And literally, I'm not exaggerating, my goal and everything I write, this is what we're always trying to do, to make the best page on the internet for the topic. Google famously has 2,000 math PhDs on staff. I assume they're smarter than me. Don't make your job to trick 2,000 math PhDs to like you. Make the best page on the internet. Now there's 2,000 math PhDs trying to help you. I want them on my team. You get the idea. So to cover this topic from every angle, to answer all the related questions, I'm going to use a tool called Answer the Public. If you knew keywordtool.io, you might know this one. Answerthepublic.com? Yeah. Answer the Public. Oh, I get to introduce you guys to this. It's so fun. I use it every day. I used it this morning. Answer the Public scrapes the internet for questions on any topic. So someone said, Andy, you talk about it, time to write about it. You don't have an article about it, time to write about domain authority. I'm like, oh, such a big topic. I don't even know where to begin. So I go put domain authority into Answer the Public, and it shows me these are all the what questions, these are the when questions, these are the how questions, all the questions that people are asking on the internet related to domain authority. Bingo. How do you check your domain authority? How often is domain authority updated? How do I raise my domain authority? That became the structure for my article. It's like the top and 11 other questions, right? The article is just like answering all the questions. Now again, I had to pan way out and patch together. This is the screenshot of the full article. You can tell my goal is always to go deep. These are like 2,500 word articles in general. Again, my goal is to make the best page on the internet for the top, but you can see. Later I'll get to this. I've got quotes in there from the engineer who created domain authority. It's got 11 answers. It's got 4 images, 3 quotes, 2,100 words, I guess, 2,100 words. And there it is. It ranks. It's amazing it ranks this high because domain authority is like Moz's own intellectual property. The fact that I'm ranking it here at all, it's like targeting Google-related phrases and trying to outrank Google. Did it work? Meh. They're not all home runs. I get a little bit of traffic every day, like a couple people visit it every day. But hey, if I hadn't optimized it at all, nobody would ever see it again. I would have gotten just that one spike from email and then a flat line, right? My goal is to avoid there being a flat line. My goal is to create that long tail. It's true, maybe thousands of people have read it. They're happy, right? They're spending 5+ minutes on it on average. The next tip is how to rank number 0. Or in organic rankings is the rankings. Above them, there's a little box. What does that box have in it? It's got a question and an answer. How do you get into the question and answer box? It's called the featured snippet. How do you win the featured snippet? It's this up here, right? It's this up here. So sometimes it shows, and when it shows, what does it show, and why does it show up here? And is it taking traffic away from these? And who gets this fun, right? How come we can't have that? These are just examples of featured snippets from articles. Some of these articles we've looked at. So the featured snippets are appearing more and more. They call them knowledge cards. It's not surprising because Google does not really want the visitors to leave google.com. So they want trying to keep them in the Google experience. But I've got a tip for you that will help you increase the chance of that happening for you. And it's actually, again, quite simple, prescriptive. You can start doing it right away. This is an article one of my clients wrote about enzyme exfoliation. What is the article is basically, what is enzyme exfoliation? And the answer is down here. Enzyme exfoliation is a blah, blah, blah. There's the complete question. There's the complete answer. My tip for you here is to just write like you're writing for the dictionary. There's the complete question. There's the complete answer. Google's looking for chunks of meaning, right? It's like talking to Alexa or Hey Google. It's trying to glean the chunk of text and give that to the visitor, right? This is also how we adapt for voice search. This is what you get in voice search. Try voice search in Google Home, and you'll know it's pulling from the featured snippet. Where are the featured snippets getting pulled from? The top 10 ranking pages the top ranking pages in Google. So my simple advice here for adapting your content, especially if you're writing research or something, just make sure to put the full, complete sentence of the question and the answer into your content. It'll increase the chance that you win the featured snippet. I don't love that these are here. I think they steal traffic from organic. I generally predict lower website traffic for everybody because Facebook will keep throttling down organic reach, because Google will keep throttling down organic reach. 49% of all clicks in Google search results pages are on Google products or Google ads. They're not your friend. They're not trying to help you get traffic, quite honestly. But if someone's going to win it, I want it to be me. So that's my tip for that. There's actually 3 kinds. Sometimes there's lists, sometimes there's paragraphs, and sometimes there's steps. So these are, that's another type of featured snippet. It comes right from here. It tells you step by step. So write write content that answers questions, first of all. Use sentences that are complete for the question, complete for the answers, and you got to make, it's got to be a great page in the first place, right? So here's my bonus and my answer to Hope's question. We have until how long?
5 o'clock.
We have until 5 o'clock.
If you probably want to leave a couple minutes for questions and prizes. So maybe,
Prizes?
yes.
Awesome.
So maybe we'll end at 5 to 5.
Excellent. So I'm going to just do a few minutes on this. This is the keeping it real part of SEO, and it's the part that I find the most interesting, the most fun. This is evil SEO, in my opinion, and I get these all the time. I didn't even fuzz her out. I don't mind not censoring this person. Who cares? This is ridiculous that they do this. We are at SA Tigers, and we noticed that you wrote about X, and we wrote about X plus 1. Would you like to link to this article? Wow, that is like a one-step process. That is a 0 relationship building, no credibility, didn't warm me up at all, just walked into the bar and tried to take me home. Nope, I'm not going home with Stacy Wonder, who's probably not Stacy Wonder. It's ridiculous. You get these all the time. That they think they're doing SEO, right? Is there someone who does this? Like, that's just silly. This was also a common SEO tactic that I think is ridiculous. Hey, we found a broken link. Why don't you change that broken link to go to our website? The broken link building. Have you heard of this? There's like drones out there. I feel bad. These kids are just like, they're told that to follow this list and go through this stuff and send these emails. The hit rate must be abysmal. It's sad. Here's a much better way to do it with an amazing success rate that has that you almost can't lose. So the idea is just that you don't just publish everything on your site, you publish for other sites as well. You don't just write everything yourself, but you collaborate with co-creators. Here's an example. Okay, Blogger A is not a digital megaphone today, but Blogger B is here and has a totally collaborative approach to this. They network with an editor. They collaborate with other content creators. They pitch and get something published, a bylined article on another website. And they accept a guest post on their website, which is this darker blog post back here. So there's more content associated with their brand. There's a link from another website in the author bio, if nothing else. That's SEO. They make friends, and everyone's sharing everything. That's good social, right? But this person just wrote 2 articles. You can imagine. Round 2, you've got 4 articles. Good for you, buddy. This person here is writing for other websites, collaborating with other people, right? They're kind of an editor for those people. They're working with these editors. Their skills are improving. They're learning how to adapt their content for different angles. There's just more on their brand. They're building links to their site, and they're making friends, right? Guest blogging is killer marketing. Nice blog, buddy, is like, I actually picture this person. They're in the basement. They've got cold, clammy hands. There's a pile of empty pizza boxes, and they're just pumping out one medium quality blog post after the other, just hitting publish and publish and publish on WordPress. And it's sad. 2.3 million blog posts published per day right now. This is what's wrong. They kind of look like pizza boxes right there. But this is what great web marketing looks like. It's totally a different outcome. One difference, collaboration, a collaborative approach. This is a completely different outcome. I did this myself for years. Right? I went on a tour. I made a list. I just wanted to write for all my favorite publications. Took me 2 years. I wrote 70 guest blog posts. I learned a ton. I got to work with some of the best editors out there. I learned a ton. It had a huge and durable benefit to my domain authority because those sites didn't go back and delete those links, right? Links are quite durable. It led to speaking and teaching and made me a better writer, made me tons and tons of friends. Even SEO, it's about relationships. Don't try to build links. Build relationships with people who just happen to write for high domain authority websites. Sounds spammy. So here's Hope's question. What you want is leads, right? We want money, leads or sales. Why do you get a lead? Well, because you've got cheese and a mousetrap. You've got visitors to the website, and those visitors take action. Right? How do we get visitors to the website? Well, traditionally, there's 3 sources for organic. There's also paid, but for organic, there's search, social, and email. But just check your analytics. It's the search visitors that are more likely to take action because they have intent. Their fingers were on a keyboard. They wanted something. Visitors from social, this is interesting. Visitors from social media, you know everything about who they are, right? Facebook's a creepy website. We have all this data on everybody. You know everything about who they are, but you know nothing about what they want. Visitors from search, you know nothing about who they are, but everything about what they want. They just typed it in. Right? That's why visitors from search are so much more likely to convert. The conversion rates are higher because the visitor has intent. So for that, of course, we need ranking. So why do things rank? Well, we talked about it already. It's because of links, authority, and content, keywords. So why do people link to things? Hope's question. Why do people link to things? The answer is because they knew about it. There's a relationship with the person, and because the content was worth linking to. It's the best article on the internet about website footer design. So when I use social media, I have this little circuit in my brain where I'm paying attention to this. 1%, it's the 1% rule. 1% of people on the internet make the internet. It's us, guys. Let's get a drink. We make the internet. You make stuff. You're creators, right? 99% of the people just consume it. They just read it. They're just hanging out. Lurkers doesn't sound right. That's my mom. That sounds weird. She's great. But these are people, but so when I'm on social media, I'm paying attention. Does this person create content? If so, I'm immediately going to treat them slightly differently. What do? I notice. How do I know it? They're journalists, they're authors, podcasters, researchers, event producers, Hope, and they're bloggers and blog editors. So this is how people think social media, this is the real reason in which social media affects SEO. You share something on social, more people see it, some tiny percent, this should be 1% of that, some tiny percentage of those people are content creators. If they like it, if it's relevant, if they support something they're working on, they might link to you, right? Now I want to show you how to skip this whole nonsense at the beginning and just share your content directly make your content directly visible to the content creator. So yes, it's lovely to be an Instagram celebrity and to have a lot of audience on one network. I think it's way more valuable, especially for the B2B marketer, to have lots of connections to that one individual. It's not about branding and traffic. I'm not going to get high quality traffic from social. I'm totally aware of that. But I can get great relationships with influencers on social media. It's the indirect benefits that I find much more valuable. This is how it works. I'm writing an article about topic X. I reach out to a pro, an expert, a legit marketer who can contribute. Would you contribute to the article? Sure. How does this sound? That's amazing. I always wanted to meet her. This is how I met her. That's Jen Havis. She's a conversion copywriter in Minneapolis. And in the article, she taught me a lot. She said, if you're adding a testimonial, give the testimonial a headline. This changed how we build websites. If you add a testimonial to your website, add a little subhead above it with the 6 juiciest words from that testimonial. It'll increase the visual prominence of the most compelling part of the testimonial. This is a killer conversion optimization tactic. Very, very good for your mousetrap. Also, I'm not a spammer, I swear, but whenever I can on a text-based testimonial, I like to put a keyword in there. The keyword-focused testimonial, it's one of only 4 tactics in all of digital that affect your traffic and conversion rate at the same time. And never make a testimonials page, please. No one's going to your testimonials page. There's no such thing as a popular testimonials page. It smells like marketing. People know it a mile away. They don't click on that. It's putting your best stuff in a hidden place. Make every page a testimonials page. So everything you say is marketing, but when they say it, it's social proof. So when you create content, put people in it. Then who's going to share? Who gets greater visibility, right? The person who just wrote it alone, or the person who collaborated with others on the idea, who included others as contributor quotes, who had a much bigger audience? We said it, keywords. Keywords are good for search. But content optimized for social includes people. Put people in your content. Put faces. Journalists know this. A journalist would never publish an article without a source. Why would a content marketer publish an article without adding a contributor? It's just missing out. It's just weak. That should be part of a checklist. Rarely do I ever write an article without getting a contributor quote from someone, because now you got an ally in creation, which is an ally in promotion. So it's a networking tool. If you're included in something, I do this all the time. Now you're included in stuff, people are including you in stuff. Here's an article, 4 content marketers experimenting their way to engagement. I happen to be included in this. I'm looking through it. Hey, that James guy is in this. Doesn't he have a podcast? Click, I go to LinkedIn. Hey, James, you and I were in the same article. Great to connect, Andy. Blah, 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 blah. If you'd ever like to collaborate on anything at all, just say the word. Sure, why don't you be a guest on our podcast? You see that? It's like Inception. See those words I wrote there? In fact, I write those words, here it is again. I give myself the title schmoozer. I write these words so often that I have a text expander installed on Chrome. Watch this. Thanks, blah, blah, blah. And then when I type the same letter 3 times, I type I appreciate it. If you'd ever like to collaborate on anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. If the person's a content creator, I want to put this idea in their mind that I would like to make something with them, right? Here's the text expander I use. I am that much of a nerd. It works like a charm, right? My whole goal is to find people to collaborate. It's to get out there. It's to make stuff with other people who make stuff. Because the long-term SEO benefits are ridiculous, right? It's so much, because I find the 1% of all people, and I suggest that we make stuff together. I taught this, what event was this? I get emails from people telling me that this works for them. If this works for you, send me an email. I want to add it to this deck. Thanks, that worked great. And then when the post goes live, go look at your analytics. The fun report spikes. You're having much more fun at that time. See how the fun goes way up right then? The friendship line should always, this goes down, you're in trouble. So keep an eye on this report. Set an alert to make sure your friendship line is always going up in analytics. That's under your audience section. And high fives is in the engagement section, right? So that's my tips for you guys. We have time for maybe just one. Maybe one question. If you're not making friends, you're doing it wrong. Thanks, guys. One question. Go ahead.
Okay. What would you say about Wix and other websites that they are ready-made right now, and how to deal with such a situation, and what is the solution?
To Wix, the website building tool?
Yeah.
I actually have very few opinions about the platform itself. My friend says, it sounds like Harry Potter, it's not about the wizard, it's not the wand, it's the wizard. The tool is not what matters. I don't use any marketing automation tools. I use MailChimp, I use a basic CRM, I use Google Analytics, I use WordPress, and Moz. That's almost all I need. So I don't think that the platform is nearly as important as what you do with it. I'm sure you could build an amazing, beautiful, high-ranking, high-converting website in Wix. I've never tried it. It should be possible. Google's not going to treat Wix differently than WordPress or Squarespace. It should be possible. But keep in mind that the reason those companies built those tools is because they're easy for everyone to use. They might be trying to help you in ways that make stuff more difficult. I like things to be a little bit custom, allowing me to change different areas for different reasons. It probably isn't ideal, but I'm sure you can still do very good work within a tool like Wix. I hope so. Thanks, guys. Let's get a drink.